There was a question that I saw in the Make community forum recently, and that is, how can I build an automation that watches for Slack messages and then appends the messages into a Notion page cleanly without running into errors in the Notion API block formatting. There is a 3-step process that we can follow to achieve this, thanks to the newly introduced Markdown formatting in the Notion API. The first step is to get the Slack message. So there is a trigger that monitors Slack. The second step is to format the message content into Markdown compatible with the Notion API, which is standard Markdown, ensuring that you use line breaks with new line characters where needed. And step number 3 is to create the Notion page with the content. You can either append the content directly as you create the Notion page, or you can append it later by updating the page. It depends on what you want. If we build this automation in Make, we can use a Slack trigger. For example, watch public channel messages here that monitors a channel, and the output looks like this. There is a text parameter that contains the message content. If we look at the raw output, the text itself already includes the new line characters that we need for the proper formatting in the Notion API. But in the actual output, those new line characters are not visible. And if we just pass this field into the Notion API request, it wouldn't work. So there needs to be an intermediate step to transform that text into Markdown. You could do this via an AI step using an LLM with a prompt to turn the text into Markdown if you wish. You can also do this more easily via code. This is a run code module. In this case, I'm using Python, and the code gets one input variable, that's text, from the Slack module, and then it transforms that text with new line characters properly formatted for the Notion API. So the output looks like this. There is a Markdown field with the formatted text. And the final step is to create the Notion page and include the body formatted in Markdown in that request. So the URL is /v1/pages. That's a post request to the latest version of the Notion API, and the body of the request will include the page ID or the data source ID if you are creating a page in a data source. In this case, it is manually hard-coded for this example. It could be passed from a previous step if that's the use case. And then as properties, we can pass multiple properties if the page is part of a data source. If it is a standalone page like I'm using here, then we can just pass the title of that page and optionally also the icon and the cover image. And then there is the Markdown parameter here that gets the result of the code node. And this creates a page in Notion here. So now I'm going to run a test to show you what that looks like. This is the page that was created and appended to my presentation at the beginning of the video. This is the title of the page and the content properly formatted as intended, where each bullet point that was part of the message is actually a numbered list block in Notion, compatible with the Notion, and so I can turn it into any other block. And all these spaces as well are retained thanks to the new line characters. Thanks for watching this video. You can find relevant links in the description, where you can also contact me or browse the product library